By now, you've probably heard the term.
Well, this shooting is being considered a green-on-blue attack.
These attacks, they refer to them as green-on-blue attacks.
And these so-called green-on-blue insider attacks.
A green-on-blue attack is military speak for when an Afghan soldier or police officer turns his gun on coalition forces. The colors relate to the U.S. military's color coding system, where blue stands for American forces and green refers to allies. The Pentagon says U.S. Major General Harold Green was gunned down Tuesday in such an attack. A man reportedly wearing an Afghan army uniform killed the general and injured 15 others. This insider attack was far from the first. In fact, it's been a major problem for coalition troops in Afghanistan. The Long War Journal, a blog that monitors the global war on terrorism, keeps a running tally on the number of green-on-blue attacks by year. They began to increase in 2011 after President Obama announced he was planning on pulling out most U.S. forces. In 2012, the attacks peaked, killing 61 troops. But since then, the number has declined. The Pentagon and military observers say that's partly due to changes to recruiting and vetting procedures put in place by the U.S. and its partners, including a so-called Guardian Angel program, which has U.S. and NATO soldiers monitoring Afghan troops. And the Christian Science Monitor reports the Afghan army now has hundreds of counterintelligence officers on the lookout for, quote, anti-foreigner sentiment within the troops. There's also another more obvious reason for the decline in green-on-blue attacks. Now there are fewer troops. In June of 2011, the U.S. had 101,000 troops in the country, a number that's dropped to 30,600. But the fact that these attacks are still happening, observers say, shows the system needs work. Tuesday's attack was the third this year. More concerning is the fact that the U.S. is preparing to withdraw combat troops from the country by the end of the year, leaving behind just over 9,000 personnel in more of a support role. A foreign policy expert at the Asian Studies Center told the International Business Times Tuesday's attack raises questions about security for those remaining troops. The fact that this was an insider attack, a green-on-blue attack, probably will increase calls for the U.S. to go for the zero-troop option in Afghanistan. Major General Harold Green was the highest-ranking U.S. general killed in combat since Vietnam. He was a 34-year veteran of the U.S. Army. For Newsy, I'm Elizabeth Hagedorn. Multiple sources, a broader view.